So Joel Awich, he's the second assistant captain of the Kenya Morans. And right now we're just going to look at his statistics in the FIBA Afrobasket qualifiers, and you look at also his statistics in the FIBA World Cup. So in the FIBA World Cup qualifiers, he played in the second window, and he only played 2 games. He only played against Angola and Mozambique in the group stages. In the remaining 6 games, he played not in the remaining 6 games, but in the 6 games he played the remaining 2 games. So you can see in the game against Angola, he played heavy minutes. So 31 minutes played, 13 points, 4 of 11 shooting, 3 of 7 on 2-point field goals, 1 of 4 from deep, and he had 2 personal fouls, 4 turnovers. So this game, he played damn near like 3 quarters, and have this type of productivity was abysmal, considering the fact that this was the game that made Kenya make history. And this is his first game that you've seen him play for the Kenya Morans, because there was that whole COVID-19 issue where he couldn't play the first game against Senegal, so he came in and played against Angola, then Mozambique. But given like the minutes that he played and looking at his productivity, this one should have raised eyebrows and question marks in our heads. But anyway, given the benefit of the doubt at the time, and he played in the game against Mozambique, where he had 11 points in 28 minutes, 5 of 12, 5 of 11. This is the game that made me look at this guy differently, because this is the game that we dropped it all the way from the first quarter. And this is the game that he needed to put reps on himself so that he can be able to see what he was all about. But anyway, he had a dud performance despite, the 11 points that he scored. You might think that it's a lot of points, but he was damn near very inefficient, especially shooting from 2-point field goals. You can see 5 of 11, missing that much, especially a person who is big and someone who's tall and somebody who's athletic. Getting such a performance and given these minutes that he played was actually atrocious. And it's funny that this guy has been named as one of the assistant captains. If these are the guys who are going to lead the national team, then the national team is in for disaster. So these are his FIBA Afrobasket qualifier stats. He didn't play in the FIBA Afrobasket. He didn't play. I went and checked, and also you can just check in right here. But if you look at the FIBA World Cup, Basketball World Cup, you can even see he was there. He played a couple of games in there, and he actually played the most games that you've seen him play with the Kenya Morans, and he had this type of performance. So this is statistically, on average, this is what he gave us in 32 minutes played in 5 games. So this man played a lot of minutes, logged in the majority of minutes for any player in the Kenya Morans. But I can say the reasons why these numbers are inflated for the minutes is because when the second window for the FIBA World Cup qualifiers in July of 2022, the team only had 8 players, so that's the reason as to why the numbers are just high. Then he had 8.8 points, 29%, almost 30% shooting from the field. Not the greatest, very below average numbers, especially when it comes to that, because these numbers just scream inefficiency. Then he had the negative plus minus for negative 26.2. So this is a guy, by all means, he shouldn't even be on a squad, any team at all. But unfortunately, because the Kenya Morans are very desperate for anybody, they'll just put him there. So in the game against Congo DR, you can see he played 34 minutes. This guy, the lowest minutes tally, he played against Egypt, and this is the game that Kenya lost by 54 points. So in that game against Congo DR, he played 34 minutes. So these are 3 quarters. And this is the productivity, 8 points, 3 of 11 shooting, that's 27%. It was 2 of 2 from the line. He had 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 foul, 1 turnover. Plus minus of minus 11. This minus 11 came from how he was getting his points, which was actually, he was quite inefficient, and he was not able to even get, to his spots. Then the game against Egypt, where he got beat by 54 points. This game against Congo DR, he lost by 10 points. So in this game, you could see 23 minutes played, 5 points, 2 of 20. He was not even 2 of 20, 2 of 10 on 20%, minus 29. This is actually the highest plus minus, the negative plus minus he had at the time. But my God, in the game against Senegal, this was the game that he played damn near. He only rested for 4 minutes. 36 minutes played, 15 points, 30% shooting. You can say 31 because it's 30.8%. 4 of 13. Look at these numbers: 2 of 8, 2 of 5. He was only 5 of 6 from the line, and these were the majority of the points that he scored. One of the majority of points. Look at this: rebounds for his size, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, 2 personal fouls, minus 37. So when I saw this in the first window, even before we go even to these other games, this is the time that I started raising, alarms started going off in my head. I'm like, this is a guy that can't play. This is a guy that cannot play for Kenya. He cannot represent Kenya. Mbani plays in France, so I know he might say that he plays, his overseas experience can help. But look at these numbers that he's dropping here. Look at this. I know a lot of people can try to remove all context and just say that he plays overseas, but I know overseas players when I see one. But when I see someone who plays overseas and drops this and has this type of efficiency, it makes me question a lot of their basketball, a lot. Then we have the game against Egypt. These 2 games happened in July, and this is the time that they had so much turmoil, especially when getting into the venue, and there was a lot of issues they had to overcome. But they missed their game against Congo DR. It was ruled a walkover, and they were not able to make it into the venue in time. So these games even were slated last. So you could see in 33 minutes, the reason as to why they played not the heavy minutes like that, only 8 guys on the roster. So that's the reason as to why they were like this. So 33 minutes played, just cardio in there. In the Senegalese game, 7 of 17, 14 points, 12 rebounds. He just had a double-double, but this double-double just masks the fact that we are on a minus 27. He had 3 turnovers in both. He had 6 turnovers in both games and 3 personal fouls if you put them together. So this is the guy that is the assistant captain. This man, he's aged 30. My God, it's just a waste of a roster spot. And this performance is going to be no different. And it's just going to be the same thing that you are used to seeing. And some players do not change. This is their productivity then. And you'll just see their productivity in the next 2 days. Let's see what they are going to produce, because you cannot tell me somebody has played 8 games and this is what they are able to produce. This is it. Bench warmer numbers at best. I've seen role players play better, but this being treated like you're being treated like royalty with such a performance just because you play overseas. You have to start asking those tough questions, because this is not somebody that you can trust down the stretch. You cannot trust this person down the stretch. Inefficiency at its best. Majority of the time, people like looking at the points. He scored 14, he scored 15. Look at the plus minus. This tells you everything that you need to know. This stat right here. This is what tells us that this player is good and is efficient in what he does. Because you can score 15, right? It's 4 of 13 shooting. That's 31%. Then you look at, his points. His points are like, he scored double digits. But look at look at the issue here. Nothing at all. And there's a reason as to why I wouldn't even put him on the team at all. He is a guy that should not be on the team. Should not even be on the team. Yeah, in the next video, we're just going to look at more of these players. So if you like the video, make sure you follow, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. I'm out.